Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the
Hello.
broadcasting room in Murphy
Here you know.
Building. I guess Murphy Building Auditorium. Nah, auditorium's in this building. But anyways, third floor. So, New York Jets again. They've been very good to us this year, and it's not a good thing.
Right.
As in content. They're giving us content, just like George Bush was very good to Jon Stewart and
Okay.
Stephen Colbert.
Right,
They
okay.
gave him a lot of material and stuff to go off of. So, latest news for the Jets is, obviously, if you didn't watch the game, I didn't even watch. I barely watched the game on Sunday against the Dolphins. But in case you didn't watch, Sheldon Richardson, Muhammad Wilkerson sat out the whole first quarter as per order from Todd Bowles. So, obviously, that caused a conversation because those are two of their best defensive players not playing in the first quarter, so you can only help but wonder what's going on because it obviously wasn't an injury. So there was multiple reports out there that Muhammad Wilkerson and Sheldon Richardson have missed a meeting. They were late, and it's not the first time they've done it. Apparently, they've been skipping meetings all year. I know people that know Jets players, and they were talking to Jets players, and they were saying they don't even care for Todd Bowles that much, which is a huge problem.
That is a huge problem.
And you could tell, and that can just confirm it by the best players not even showing up to the meetings.
That is a huge problem.
Because when you lose your best players, and when your best players are not answering to you, and they're not coming to meetings, you're done. The locker room is lost. I don't know how anyone can defend Todd Bowles and say, hey, you know what, give him a chance. After I found this out, I was already on the ropes about Todd Bowles. I'm done. This guy really cannot control the locker room. And it's not all his fault, because he can only do so much. He can't literally force guys to show up to a meeting. But the fact that Muhammad Wilkerson, this guy who gets that guaranteed contract for, I forget how much it was. I think it was at least $30 million, upwards of that. And he's not showing up to meetings, it just sends the complete wrong message. And if you really think about it, it really stuns me that Sheldon Richardson, actually it doesn't stun me, but it just makes you laugh that Sheldon Richardson is not showing up to meetings like this. So the guy doesn't get traded, meaning he's banking on free agency that someone will pick him up and sign him to a big contract. Meanwhile, he's been suspended how many times? So he's one suspension away for sitting out possibly a whole year. All right, depending on whatever he would get suspended for if he does. Okay, and he's not showing up to meetings now.
Not showing up to meetings to boot.
How are you proving that you're worth anything?
I think when you look at an NFL locker room, you see your leaders on your team, your best players, your better players, Muhammad Wilkerson, Sheldon Richardson. If they don't have faith in your head coach, the other players look to them for guidance.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have faith in their head coach, the rest of your team does not have faith in the head coach. That's a huge problem, and Bowles probably needs to be gone immediately because there's no control.
I think you just wait till the end of the season anyways. I think this season's been...
It's a wash anyway.
I think it's been a wash ever since week 3.
All right, so put Bryce Petty under center then.
Well, you know what? Apparently Fitzpatrick is fine, and the MCL sprain isn't that bad. So he's starting on Sunday. Two of the most stubborn head coaches in football, Jeff Fisher and Todd Bowles, refusing to take out their quarterbacks to go to the young guns. So that's a whole nother issue there. But not even that. Even if you could look towards Revis isn't playing that well. He got the huge mega contract with the guaranteed money. You don't really hear him or see him saying anything like that. You even saw the Ryan Fitzpatrick after he got benched that one game, and Gino had to come in, and he's like,
right.
when the head coaches don't believe in you, and I went to Harvard, but the owners don't believe in me. It's like, no, Ryan, you got $12 million, you threw 6 picks in one game, and you think you should just earn your spot? You just deserve a spot? You didn't prove anything. You're a journeyman for a reason. I think the whole outlook on this team is looking really bad. The Jets had their past...
Here's to just interrupt quickly. The year has passed, and they really, really, really blew it this year. You're coming off a season in which, of course, Fitzpatrick had his best season, but putting that aside, Eric Decker had, 8, 9, 10 touchdowns. Brandon Marshall's coming off a terrific season. You go out and get Matt Forte, one of the best two-way backs in the game, and you waste him for a year. You waste him. He's not young. He's 31 years old. You waste him. How often do we see running backs even getting into their 30s now? Peterson's body is completely crumbled. Jamal Charles is done pretty much. or he's going to go somewhere else and be a backup. Matt Forte has been here, and he's sustained injuries and done this his whole time. And you go out and get Matt Forte.
He's been extremely productive, all things considered.
He's been extremely productive, and he's done it for a long time. And you go out and get him at 31 years old, and you waste a year.
But this is what they do. This is what the Jets do. Can you name me the past 3 head coaches of the Jets and their prior head coaching experiences?
No.
Seriously. Okay, I'll do it for you. Eric Mangini, head coaching experience, none prior.
Right.
Rex Ryan, head coaching experience, none prior. Todd Bowles, head coaching experience, none prior. Even Herm Edwards. Did Herm Edwards even have a head coaching gig before he was a coach? No. And what do they all have in common? Defensive guys. And what have they done? Defensively, they're not even that great. Todd Bowles is supposed to be this next great defensive-minded guy. There was Bruce Arians when he said he got hired. He's like, oh, I thought he would have been my boss one day. No, he's just another glorified defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator, wherever you want to go in the NFL, that just got a head coaching gig just based off of how well he did his job as a coordinator.
Right.
They didn't look at all other things considered, as in how does he handle the locker rooms? Will the players play hard for him? Does he know what to do in late game situations when to call timeouts? Does he know when to sit a quarterback when he's not playing well enough? He doesn't know how to do any of those things.
I.e. Ben McAdoo, but yes. 100%.
But even then, the Giants are playing better, and even the fact that I understand the Giants' offense isn't playing as well as they thought it would be, they actually don't have a running back. The Jets have all the talent you could possibly need except at quarterback.
Right.
They have 2 good running backs, okay? Bilal Powell's a nice backup. Then you have, I know Decker's hurt, but Enunwa stepped up big time. You have Brandon Marshall. They don't even...
You have Austin Safarian Jenkins.
Yeah,
that was a huge
I know.
signing.
I was going to say,
they
don't even utilize
and
them.
all that stuff aside. You got a 6'6" tight end. You don't give him the ball if you're in the red zone or anything? That's a waste. You're wasting talent.
And that's another thing I have a problem with, because you just look to their rivals in division who they play twice a year that have been dominating not just the division, the whole NFL for the past 15 to 20 years, and they're going to keep on doing it for a few more years. What do they have on offense that no one else has in the NFL? 2 dominant tight ends that you cannot cover. Austin Safarian Jenkins was playing very well last season with Jameis Winston as his quarterback, who I don't think is that great of a quarterback, but he was playing very well at points, and you're not utilizing that, and that's the problem.
You're wasting talent. That's all it is.
You're wasting talent, and on top of the fact that your defense is underperforming, I mean, that front 7 is completely overrated. And it's not that the talent up front and with the defensive linemen isn't talented. The linebackers are playing horrible. Lorenzo Malden, Darren Lee, the first-round pick, is playing awful. They were even playing Sheldon at outside linebacker for some plays. It just doesn't make any sense. Revis is crumbling. He's not the same guy he was before. Calvin Pryor has regressed extremely regressed in his 3rd season. I think it is his 3rd or 4th season, and it's just bad. And you look at the whole roster as a whole, how much more time do half the guys have left? Like you said with Forte, he's 31 years old. Running backs don't last that much longer. It's another LaDainian Tomlinson situation when they had him a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Brandon Marshall, he's on the better side of 30 now. Eric Decker is getting up there in age, and he just had surgery on his hip, asides that he's going to have it on his torn labrum in his shoulder. Okay, and then you have Nick Mangold. How much time does he have left? Ryan Clady, how much longer does he have left too? And then you just look around in the secondary and all that stuff. How are they going to afford to keep Sheldon Richardson? Is it even worth keeping Muhammad Wilkerson? Between both of them, Muhammad Wilkerson and Sheldon, they have 4 combined sacks this season. Leonard Williams is the only one actually producing anything on that defensive line. David Harris, he's going to be gone soon. He's not that young. When was the last time they had a top 2nd-round pick? It was David Harris. You really look back at it. Vlad Dukas, Christian Hackenberg, Geno Smith, Stephen Hill.
I'm still wondering about Christian.
Incredible. Hackenberg is horrible. You know it right away, and guys say it, and you can watch NFL Live or any NFL show or anything. They tell you when a guy gets into camp, and immediately they could tell just off of an hour based off of practice, this guy has it or this guy's going to be good or not. And if the guy can't even get third team reps, okay, that's a problem for me. Especially, I don't care if you're 2nd round or at least 5th round, I could somewhat understand. But if you're banking on a 2nd-round pick like that, you really have to believe that you're going to be able to develop him well enough. And I mean, I don't know what's going on. I could see this coming from a mile away before the season even started. This team is imploding, and it's only going to get worse. And you know what? If I was the Jets, I would just implode this whole roster and try and get whatever assets you can from certain players, because I mean, it's getting very bad, and I don't see a way for them to get out of it in the near future. So I think they're going to have a potential top 5 pick. I think they really got to consider just not even re-signing Sheldon Richardson. I don't even think that should be an option at this point. I think they should just get the compensatory pick, get rid of Todd Bowles, go get a guy who's actually experienced as a head coach, because right now the whole vibe around the New York Jets isn't much better than what it was under Rex Ryan's last season.
Yeah, that says it, I think. I like to let you go on your Jets rants because you need them weekly. Because
that's the sad
every
part.
week is the same thing. You had Ajayi,
even during a bye week.
They had Ajayi, however you want to say his name,
Ajayi,
Jay Ajayi, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever.
He's still
it is.
A beast. They had him bottled up in the first half, and then he just kind of let loose.
So
in the
full
second
game. It's a 4-quarter game.
Yeah.
So
he's a hard runner.
Yeah. I mean, there's not many bright spots in this. I think it's
Enunwa. Enunwa's the lone.
Well, yeah, no, a few bright spots there are. I mean,
Forte and Leonard Williams is playing.
I love Leonard Williams. Honestly, this kid has come up. He's only a year or two older than us. He's very young. He was considered. He could have gone number 1 overall in the draft when he fell to the Jets at 6 a couple years ago. So I think there is some things to work off of. I think you got to keep McCagnon at the end of the year. I still give him a shot. I think it takes a little while as a GM. It's harder to evaluate a GM over a few years because sometimes players take a little while to develop.
Right.
But a head coach, I think it's a little bit easier to tell. Does he have a grasp of the locker room? Do they play hard for him? Are players making strides? Are players regressing? And are they playing well on the side of the ball that they're known for? So they're getting worse on defense. Todd Bowles' players on defense are not showing up to meetings for him, especially a guy that's considered.
It's the ultimate lack of respect, and there must be a good reason behind it. So
who knows?
The Jets front office needs to realize that and move forward.
Starts at the top with Woody Johnson. So I think it's a similar situation that, with many teams around the league, that it starts at the top, and I don't think things will change until I think Woody Johnson is gone or until he realizes that he needs to change this whole culture around the whole team, because at this point, Chicago Cubs aren't the biggest losers in America anymore. It's really down to them, the Cleveland Browns, the Detroit Lions, the 76ers of the world.
There's not many.
I mean, there's not many left, but I think they're in that category now of those teams that are just a part of suffering fan bases, and it doesn't seem like they'll see any light of day anytime soon. Okay, so that'll wrap it up for this segment. We're going to be talking Anthony Davis next.
The brow.
It's got to get out of there. PMP Sports, back after this.